Yes, welcome, respected friends. Few more shlokas of this Yoga Vaashishtha Maharamayana, third Utpatthi Prakarana, 57th Sarga, Swapnartha Vichara. Let us study. Little only, let us allow the knowledge to enter into us, sink into us. Just be in that joyful mood, that grateful mood that we are getting an opportunity for all these listenings. When we are in the mood of joy, mood of contentment, mode of gratitude, our faculties will be in a very high peak level. With those faculties, everything can be well planned, well executed, well achieved. So let us be in that mood and see what are the further guidances of Sri Bhagavan Vasishthaji through Sri Rama to all the seekers. Om 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 Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Brahmadibhyo ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ओम यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः सच्छास्त्राः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् ओम श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनामवरानने ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मत् गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीरामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः वसिष्ठादर्शिभ्यो नमः संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषत् योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्षकैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणेतिहास संतवाङ्मयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थम तत्रोक्त ऋषि मुनि गुरु देवता दर्शनानुग्रहानुभव प्राप्त्यर्थम सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ते विश्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनर्वाप्ते तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुविघ्न शाश्वत समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हैंदव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्म सुदिग्विजयाः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम् अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्रीराम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे मंगलाचरण श्लोकाः ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शन दृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतम् प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखगनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ स्वसदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्री गुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुत्तितीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरभिकलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये ओम श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः श्री वशिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रम तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणे लीलोपाख्याने स्वप्नार्थ विचारणं नाम सप्तपंचाशत्तम सर्गः श्री वशिष्ठ उवाच। तो प्रश्न श्री राम जी का था, लीला के उस शरीर के बारे में कहा गया, क्या हुआ। So, to that question of Rama, Sri Vasishtha ji is giving the essence of all Vedantic sublime drushti, sublime knowledge, which is an acme of perfection, which every seeker or every living being have to reach to find his own emancipation or liberation. So, the first two shlokas themselves were the very powerful ones, isn't it? We have already seen them. He, Bhagavan Vasishtha says, Kwa asau leela shariram tat. Where and when was that sharira of the leela? Then, kutas tasya asti satyata. Yeah, it was seen. Leela was there in that sharira. She interacted with the world with that sharira. All it's okay, but has we been ever have anybody deeply analyzed about its satyata? If the ultimate satyata of that is searched out, it is found to be something else. And two satyatas cannot be there. Then from that one satyata standpoint, this is never satya only. So the Vasishtha, the rishis, imagine for how many lives they might have practiced this Vedantic Jnanam of Sarvam Brahma, isn't it? Then they reach to that experience. Like on the Brahman, by doing Kalpana of the Rupanamatmaka Jagat and practicing it for many lives, we took the world to be real, we took the Upadhis to be real, which is wrong actually. Our taking the world to be real and living in it is on the strength of bhavana, on the strength of delusion, on the strength of ignorance only. फिर भी वो चल रहा है. Whereas the Brahman is the reality, everything is Brahman alone. It is not bhavana, it is not sankalpa, it is not a kalpana, it is actual fact. So these have reached that state of reality. Therefore, from that standpoint, he is asking, where is that deha? Kwa asit dila shariram dat? Kuta tasyasti satyata? Where is the reality to it? While listening to this, we have to start pondering all our dehadi also from the adhisthana drushti, they are not satya. That adhisthana we have to reach to. Then kevala bhrantireva bhut. Everything is bhranti only. Then jala buddhir maraviva. Like in our wrong notion, there is a water in that marubhumi. About the mirage, the water is in our wrong notion. There was never water. So too, there was never the Sharira, ever it was only the Brahman. And mirage seen as water, Brahman seen as Sharira. Not only about the Sharira, entire Jagat now, Sri Vasishtha ji is talking, Atmai Vedam Jagat Sarvam. The whole Jagat is the pure Atman only. Kuto Dehadi Kalpana. That reality is so immutable, unchangeable, that Dehadi Kalpana ke liye bhi usme nahi hai. Of which we have done Kalpana. That is our genius. Here the Kuto Dehadi Kalpana means in that the Gunjaish for doing the Kalpana of the Deha also is not there. That much immaculate, that much non-modifiable is that reality. Kuto dehadi kalpana, Brahma eva ananda roopam sat. So, what is sat? Sat is always ananda roopa. That is called in Upanishad as Brahman. Okay? Yet pashyasi tadeva chit. In the form of the entire Jagat, whatever you are seeing, is that chit, that sat only, that ananda only, that chit only, that atma only. है ना लोग जब गलत फहमी में होते हैं ना टू चेंज देयर माइंडसेट फ्रॉम दैट गलत फैमिली इट बिकम सो डिफिकल्ट कभी कभी तो जन्म पूरा लग जाता है दैट फेलो डजंट वांट टू गिव अप हिज रॉन्ग नोशन है ना एंड वी आर कैरिंग द नोशंस ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एज रियल फ्रॉम हाउ मेनी लाइव्स with such a strong impressions with strong so many of the wrong convictions how do you think they will just like that go away isn't it from the root level two roots are there one is ajnana second is vasana तो वासना पूर्णतया एलिमिनेट करनी है अज्ञान भी एलिमिनेट करना है तब जा करके these wrong notions about the jagat is existing jagat is real go away the reality the brahman is realized okay then we have seen all of this then was yathaiva bodhe leela sau parinamamita kramat pare so yatha eva pare bodhe leela kramena parinamamita as slowly, steadily, systematically, the Leela was awakening to that truth. So, Kramena Parinamamita is equal to in every of the meditational seat and in every of the human life encashed the opportunity and sadhana done, little, the bodha starts happening to us. Again, in that bodha also two types, three types. One intellectual understanding bodha till becomes firm conviction. That is in that also various levels. Second is in doing the sadhanas also there are various levels. Then in the anubhuti also the levels in the anubhuti are first the anubhuti comes and again goes away. It's only for a millimicrosecond. Thereafter, slowly, the span of that experience becomes more and more. Slowly, as we continuously do, the establishing in that happens. Okay, Siddhanta Jnana Samaya, there are levels. Sadhana Samaya, there are levels. Anubhuti Nishtha Bhane se pehle, there are levels. That is the meaning of Kramena. तो यथा एव बोधे लीला असौ परिणाममिता कर्मात् परे तथा एव accordingly tasmat tad himavad galitam vapuhu see that as the heat is exposed to that ice slowly it gets melted so too the thick mist in that winters in north india so much so that zero visibility when the sun as he rises in the east slowly is coming up and up you can see the mist getting melted so too as Leela is awakening in her identity to Aham Brahmasmi, to that extent Aham Devasmi of her was slowly getting melted and dissolved. So yatha eva bodhe asau Leela parinamita kramat pare tatha eva tasmat tad. Tad means that I am body or body is real. Wrong notion. Himavat galitam vapuhu. Tad vapuhu himavat galitam. That body did not get melt. The body is real, there is body existing gross. That notion gets melted. Because for it to get melted, it is not really there. It is not really there from the absolute standpoint. And all of us are at the very same level of ignorance. Therefore, mutually, cumulatively, we agree to that notion. Then it becomes a principle. Like 10 पागल लोग मिलकर एक रूल बनाते हैं तो रूल बन जाता है वो तो रूल बनाना कोई मुश्किल काम नहीं है 10 लोग मिल गए तो हो जाता whether that rule is right or wrong that's a different issue clear then now by listening to this we have to feel for ourselves also कि as I am awakening in my identity with my essential reality to that extent my notion that this body is real and I am that start getting withered away fizzled away. That is what. Then ativahika dehasya Kalena Bhyudito Brahma. Dekho, what was originally was Ativahika Deha. But Kalena, in time, Brahmaha Abhyuditaha, the delusion slowly took shape and took root. What is the delusion? Adi Bhautika Deho Ham Iti. That I am this Stula Sharira, this notion got solidified in course of time. Otherwise, all of us are basically Brahman. Secondarily, we are all Ativahika. Thirdly, only because of delusion strongly practiced that we are the Adi Bhautika Shariras. Okay, Rajju Bhujangavat, like the Rajju seen as Bhujanga. Remember, Rajju never became Bhujanga. Bhujanga Sarpa never came from anywhere. Yet, the reality on the Rajju, the Bhujanga projected, so much so that Bhujanga is taken as real. Rajju is not even looked into. Anyway, a distant, far off notion also never comes that it can be a rope when one is overpowered by the reality given to the snake. So too, we are all overpowered by the reality given to the Stula Sharira, Stula Jagat, so much so that a far off distant notion also cannot come in us that there is some reality behind it. क्या दोनों एग्जाम्पल और थॉट मैच हो गए कि नहीं? See, when one is seeing that snake and worried about it, a distant notion, thought also doesn't come to him that it can be a rope. Whereas the rope alone is real. This fellow was never there, the snake. So to the Brahman alone is here real. Neither this Deha nor Deha, that nor the whole world is ever exist. Yet the notion is so strong that this alone is real. Only the text at the level of Mandukyadi Upanishad and this, all Upanishads for the matter, and Yoga Vaashishtha have that courage and audacity to say that Brahman is real, not this. And all other Siddhantas, they continue with the notion of the Jagat taken as real only. That's why none of them can give moksha. At the same time, while pursuing the Aham Brahmasmi Anubhava, Brahma Satyam Wala, in the Mithya Jagat, whatever the Vyavaharika rules we have to follow, be decent to follow them, don't mix them up. At the same time, don't get lost in them also at the cost of the reality. At the cost of the reality, we should not get lost in the projected world. At the same time, when we are in the sadhana kala, vyavahara kala, in that projected world, don't misuse this spiritual knowledge to be misguided there, to break the rules there. When I am dreaming, in the dream, I have to follow traffic rules. Otherwise, I get accident there also. But वो सपना है ना, जागृत होने का सपना है. When you are in sapna, you have to follow the rules. Yet don't get attached also that. That is not the goal, keep it in mind. Goal is this only. In this way, as we keep on listening from our gurus, with one side Shraddha Bhakti, other side our own Sukshma Buddhi and Viveka, our intellect gets opened up. See, in that bud, that beautiful flower with all its tenderness, fragrance, beauty, they're all there. But the bud has to open. For it, the atmosphere is provided. So the Guru through Satsanga and Shastras provides that atmosphere to us with which our bud-like intellect gets blossomed into that fragrance of knowledge, the tenderness of knowledge, the beauty of that knowledge. And that is everything is Brahman. मस्त मस्त एक बार ये ब्रह्म ज्ञान सिद्धांत रूपेण साधना रूपेण अनुभव रूपेण comes to us, thereafter nothing which can bind us. Must. So adibhautika dehoham iti brahmaha kalena abhyuditaha ativahika dehasya rajju bhujangavat. After this we have seen now. Next one. Ativahika dehena drishyam yat avalokitam bhumyadinama tasyaiva krutam tachadhi bhautikam. A beautiful thing it is. This is very sublime and very interesting one also. Very, very important. Ki ativahika dehena. What was there was ativahika only. The sukshma. Drishyam yad avalokitam. At that ativahika sthiti of sukshmata, the drishya is seen. So drashta, drushya both were in the Sukshma Manosthai. But by that drashta at the Sukshma level, the Drushya is seen in the Sukshma level. Instead of stopping there at the Drushya level, what was happening was that Drushyata, through the power of imagination only, through the power of projection only, started as if, never miss the word as if in Vedanta, Iva, as if getting solidified. First the Akasha, then from that the Vayu, from that the Agni, from that Jala, from that Prithvi, all of that solidification, Iva, as if happened. So the Drushya got slowly as if solidified into these Panchamahabhutas. From the Panchamahabhuta, the entire world of Rupa Nama. Like when I see that empty land, I imagine in my own mind a three-storied building. So where was the building, the Drushya? Was it not in my mind earlier? Then what I do with all my capacity of money, all of that, loan, वगैरह, then I'm employing the people, whatever contract engineers, धीरे धीरे within that 1.5 year time, जितना भी time, that 3 story building वहाँ खड़ा हो गया कि नहीं? Was it not there in the mana only beginning? Now one thing extra only I have to add it was, when we thought the building to be made, all the building material was existing. In the case of Paramatma, even the building material also was not there. That was also from his own Maya Shakti got projected. है ना? Then extend, little liberal बनना है बुद्धि में. Narrow minded, narrow buddhi wala, he can never understand sublime truths. Become little liberal to understand it. That with all the cozy comforts you have in your house, with the upper two portions given for rent, getting all the money, still is not that house mithya? Isn't it? With all its solidity and giving the expected comforts, still it's mithya. Because it is nothing but the combination of all those eat and patthar only. Remove all of them, can the house stand there? In the same way, with all the experiences we are going through in this Jagrat world of the Shabdas, Sparsa, Prasagandha and all of them, yet at a higher level, they are only mithya. इससे मैंने कहा एग्जाम्पल को थोड़ा पहले पकड़ोगे तो ये भी थोड़ा पकड़ में आता. Then in the future shlokas, it will be told in the very Sarga, that's the name of this Sarga also, SWAPNARTHA VICHARANAM. In the Swapna, everything is so solid. And the doors, the windows, the utensils we use, सारे आप उठ के देखो कोई एक चीज भी है क्या वहां का? But will you believe that when it is said that it's all unreal when we were in dream? So a dream every day coming itself is so powerful. So from how many lives we are maintaining this Ajnana and Moha Janita Jagat Satyata so strongly. Now do you think that it will just like that go away? How strong it is, imagine. So आतिवाहिक देहेन दृश्यम यत् अवलोकितम भूम्यादि नाम तस्य एव कृतम यथा आदि तथा आदिभौतिकम. All the Adibhautika objects and the cause of them, the Panchamahabhutas, they were all Sukshma Drushya Rupena Pehle for the Drashta. Both Drashta and Drushya are nothing but the Maya, Avidya. And Avidya namak cheez nahi hai. Then what is there? Nothing other than Brahman. And all this projected necessarily will have to have the Adhisthana. Adhisthana is Brahman. बिना कुछ का प्रोजेक्शन तो नहीं होता ना, कुछ तो होना है. जो है जिसके ऊपर एवरीथिंग प्रोजेक्टेड इज कॉल्ड अनचेंजिंग ब्रह्मन. दैट इज व्हाट इन द नेक्स्ट श्लोक वास्तवेन तो रूपेण. वास्तवेन तो रूपेण मीन्स फ्रॉम द सबस्ट्रेटम स्टैंड पॉइंट, द वस्तु रूपेण. इफ यू आर एबल टू रीच टू दैट सबस्ट्रेटम, ऑलवेज यू विल रीच सबस्ट्रेटम विद इन यू. अंदर के परमात्मा को नहीं देखे बिना बाहर परमात्मा नहीं दिखेंगे. भगवान का दर्शन होगा. इफ यू डू उपासना, he'll come give the boons and he'll get rid of you and he'll run away. That all will happen. But seeing the reality behind the Jagat won't happen unless We see the self within us. Keep that in mind. So here, vastavena turupena, from the substratum standpoint, uh, bhumyadyatma adhibhautikaha, the entire adhibhautika shariradi, which are made out of the bhumyadi panchamahabhutas, na shabdena na charthena satyatma, neither by word nor by objective, they are satya at all. So much asatya, they are, example is shashashrungavat, shashashrungavat, like the hairs of the horns of the hair, sorry. Shashashrunga, you know, rabbits' horns ki tarah, they are words employed, but neither the words Shashashrunga have any meaning, nor there is a corresponding object. This is what the highest text we are given a chance to study and get this knowledge inside. Allow it to get digested inside. Live this knowledge within ourselves. Outside, don't show anything off nor try to be different in the outer world. In the outer vyavahara, be as normal. ओके ना, समग्रता ये सब बात स्पष्टता से समझ में नहीं समझ में आना है, नहीं तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. And this Siddhanta Jnana, through slow, steady practice for how many lives you don't know, starts becoming experience. Gain the knowledge, like I know how to reach to Kedarnath. And yet, one by one step, knowing my capacities, knowing the road, knowing the other traffic, how to move, isn't it? Spiritual life also like that. And if this knowledge is never heard, then we don't know what is the ultimate goal. We get lost in the world like others. This knowledge is known, but not practicing inside, that's of no use. While practicing inside, if you try to neglect the outer world, then the Antakarana Shuddhi will not happen. The inner practice will never click. So outside अपना स्वधर्माचरण करो, outside पुण्यादि करो, कोई फलासक्ति मत रखना. Consequently, the heart should be pure. Later on, this knowledge we have to realize on the seat of meditation. हमें साइंटिस्ट की तरह होना. He is never known to the world. For 10-20 years, he goes on doing experimentation. And one day when Eureka happens, he just comes out to share it with the world. So to be within ourselves, realize the self within, then come out to share it with the world if they are ready to receive. This is the next point. Next one, we are going into the next one. ये तो समझ में आया ना? वास्तवेन तो रूपेण भूम्यादि आत्मा आदि भौतिकः न शब्देन न च अर्थेन सत्यात्मा शशशृंगवत्. Never satya. Brahman alone is reality. But in today's world, with so much of science, technology, outer objects that are seen, people have taken this doubly, trebly real, that they will feel pinching and painful to say that this world is unreal. कि इतने सारे भोग सामग्री हुआ, पहले इतने नहीं होते थे. Therefore it was easy for them to get the vairagya. अब इतने सारे भोग विलास छोड़कर, how can you say this is all mithya? Tough. And yet keep the knowledge intact, pray to the divinity, their grace will work. If not today, tomorrow will be able to understand, digest. Okay, example is Pumso Harinako Smiti Swapne Yasyodita Matihi Sakiman Vishyati Mrugam Swamrugatva Parikshaye. See, Pumsaha, a person. Harinakaha Asmiti, I am a deer. Swapne Yasya Udita Matihi. In the dream, he had a dream in which he was a deer. Sa kim anvishyati mrugam, sa mrugatva parikshaye. When he wakes up to his human being level, will he look for his own dearness? That is important thing. When he wakes up on that bed, where has my body gone? Where are my legs gone? Where is my horns gone? Even the deer has the horns, na? क्या देखेगा वो? अपने कहाँ गए सिंग वगैरह जो हिरण के हाव भाव होते ना, all the variety of deer's body parts, he doesn't look for them because he was never hiran only, it was only kalpana. So too, the Leela was basically Brahman. Secondarily, she was Ativahika. She dreamed to be a deer like Leela Sharira. When that woken up through her to her Ativayik level, the man who had a dream that is a deer, when he woke up to a madness, will he look for where is my dear Sharira? It was Kalpita, na? He won't look for it. He has awakened to a higher reality that I am a human being. So the Leela has awakened to I am the Ativayika level. So why will she look for a Sharira? Ah, highly mystical knowledge it is it. ये हम देहात आदात में होते हैं ना, हमको समझ में नहीं आता, बात पकड़ में नहीं आता, ऐसा हो सकता है क्या? And you can see also what a simple thing it is that the jiva who leaves the body called as dead is watching from the there sukshma rupena. These people are crying or hila ke dekh rahe mara ki nahi. Then after 7-8 hours they take him and jala bhi de rahe, and that fellow sees and he tries to enter and all of that natanki hota hai, but after some time he realizes. Same is when we are in the body too. And yet, that Jiva Bhava also is unreal. To that is the body related. Both of them are born out of ignorance. That is a higher thing. Or higher. Higher from the absolute Brahman standpoint. From the Brahman standpoint, remember the Maya is not there, the Ishvara is not there, the Hiranyagarbha is not there, the Virat is not there, and all of them are not there. From the absolute Brahman standpoint. Otherwise, that Ekameva Dvayam Brahman Enanasti Kinchana, these Upanishad Vakyas become untrue. We don't agree to that. We cannot do Ninda. Upanishad is the final authority of knowledge for us. So the dear example is given. Once he wakes up from that to a woken up human body, he never looks for his own dear Sharira. So to the Leela woken up to her Ativayika Sthiti, she doesn't search for that Sthula Deha. मेरा शरीर कहाँ गया, मैं हूं ही नहीं वो. अब जब शरीर से बाहर आ गई ना, तो कौन बाहर आए? Someone different from शरीर है ना. वहीं बात खत्म हो गया कि नहीं? When she could leave the body, means I am not the body, हो गया. If she is a body, she cannot leave it, na? If any one of us are the Sharira, we should never leave Sharira. Every day we are leaving that Sharira and going to dream with other body, and in sleep तो no body on. फिर भी notion में है कि हम this Sharira. That is the strong ignorance, strong notions. They have to be broken, that takes time. All the variety of sadhanas slowly loosened it. And the most loosening thing of the samsara is the Vedantic Upanishadic Brahma Vidya. That is why Upanishad means Vicharana, Gati, Avasadhana, etc. You know. Now the next one, Udeti asatyamevashu tata satyam viliyate Bhranter brahmavato rajvam apisarpa brahmegate. Sat, the reality forgotten, the projected gets projected and takes position of reality. Same way, when the reality is realized, the projected goes away, or when the projected is devalued, we get capacity to realize the reality again. Once the reality realized, the projected no more taken as real. Hana, when you project the snake, the rope is not seen. When you reject the snake, you get a capacity to see the rope. When the rope is realized, there is no more a snake. So when you see the Jagat as real, the Brahman is not realized. When the Jagat is intellectually understood to be Mithya and kept aside, we get capacity to realize Brahman. When the Brahman is realized, from that standpoint, this whole Jagat, etc. is projected. This is the thing it is said. Okay, then this is the powerful shloka, 19th one, which will start today, exhaustively explain tomorrow. Samastasya prabuddhasya manojatasya kasyachito bijam vinamrushaivyam mityarudham upagata. This is the great knowledge. Samastasya prabuddhasya manojatasya kasyachito bijam vinamrushaivyam mityarudhim upagata. I'll give an example, touch it tomorrow more. Like in your own house of 6 people, your wife or husband or parents, children, grandchildren, or this is not your household setup, is the gross expression of the subtle understanding of all of you put together? Isn't it? Your whole house people together. Samashti man ke karan hi, the house is like that, the furniture is like that, the things are like that, all of that. Isn't it? Somebody initiated, you started a thought, let's have a sofa. Then the wife agreed, yes, let's have. Then both of them went to shop. Then you looked for the quality and all, etc. Then cost also. Both agreed. Then it is ordered, then it landed in your house. In that way, everything in your house, whatever, is it not the samashti alochana of the entire family? Anything you add, एक खिलौना भी नहीं है घर में, but suddenly the grandchild is born, एक कमरा पूरा खिलौने से भर जाता है. In the same way, what he said is a cumulative group of ignorant jivas in whichever is the space they are, those cumulative ignorant jivas, when they together project, their together projected thing gets solidified to become that particular dunya. So the whole India is made by all jivas together, whose subtle thinking produce the gross India. So to the entire earth, the globe, it is nothing but so many jivas put together their cumulative thought grossified this bhugola to form. No matter it is 1 lakh years, 2 lakh years, it doesn't, it's a kala desha vagara. Once you become the thinker at the sukshma level, desha kala they become immaterial. That is said here. Samastasya aprabuddhasya. Samasta means samishti. A cumulative number of people. Aprabuddha, not awakened to the one reality. Manojatasya, in their own mind. Whatever the kasachit concepts, first subtle they make it. Bijam vina, without the original thing Paramatma touched. And for these projected things, without any stuff having behind, Purusha eva iyam mithya rudi upagata. Just like that, all these solid projections appear. Means what? If you take out Sat Chit Namak, pure existence and Chit from anything, that totally collapses only. But that Sat Chit is not an object. It's a very sublime reality. Murusha eva bijam vina. No, these are all the mystical things. Little more probe and little more subtlety. We'll try to arrive at tomorrow. Thank you, Sarvam. Bhagavat Charanaravindarpanam Om Purnamadaha Tatsad Brahmarpanamastu. बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, वशिष्ठ भगवान की जय, सरस्वती मैया की जय, बोलो विश्व संतन की जय, आप सबकी जय हो. धन्यवाद.